regrets. And no, I never forget. So now you have a few debts. That shit, it needs to be paid with blood or some sort of pain. You caused a permanent stain, which has determined your fate. I've never seen so clear. I feel the end and it's near. The day of reckoning's here. The sound of deafening fear.
Don't die if you try. You just might get a little bit of trouble. Right in your side, you will never see me coming. Don't die if you try. You just might get a little bit of trouble. Right in your side, you will never see me.
My energy is next level, so damn you better be careful. I got an angel and devil, he snaps me straight in the temple. I'm ready to be a rebel, I've got a lot of potential hidden inside of this vessel. That shit is so exponential. I need a first class ticket to the top, no limit. I don't play no gimmicks, I'ma take you to the clinic. If you want a taste, come at me and you will be replaced. They won't find a trace of you anywhere or any place.
Don't die if you try. You just might get a little bit of trouble. Right in your side, you will never see me coming. Don't die if you try. You just might get a little bit of trouble. Right in your side, you will never see me coming.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding. From the words I spit, so sharp, so freezing. So cold, behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts peeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. And I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb.
Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon.
Creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If you wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready.
Hmm. Check, 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 check. Check, 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 check.
I start my day.
Body lotion, body lotion.
Where are my slippers?
Check, 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 check.
Where's my notebook? My dreams, write them down. Write down your dreams. Write down your dreams.
Write down your
Write
dreams
down your dreams.
that you're American. Welcome.
More silence. More silence.
Go with the flow farm. Go with the flow farm.
It's time to go.
It's Misha Lee. Hey, Misha.
My journey to where I'm going
Like what Paula
is steady and still silent.
This is Izzy Pop.
I gather my belongings and my clothes, my garments, my gloves, my
Hey, John,
socks,
John.
my heels,
Hey, John,
and I put them together in a way that I'm telling a story
Hey,
with my
John.
appearance. The silence
Stitching
starts to break.
I'm
I
stitching.
start to sing to myself and gauge how I feel.
It's Adam's patch, Adam's
I
patch.
put my clothes on. In
Duchess
still.
of Darkness,
More silence.
Duchess
More
of
silence.
Darkness.
Where's my water?
Be silent.
There's plenty of water. Be fluid. Be one with water. Be one with air.
Be one with the water. Be one with
Preparing
the air.
myself for the
Kristen,
adventure.
tingle, tingle.
For the purpose of
Kristen,
music.
tingle,
For
tingle.
the sound to grow within my belly.
Kristen,
I am
tingle.
ready to start my day.
Moose Harper, Moose Harper, Moose Harper, Moose
I
Harper.
let my vocals carry me. Carry me to the next moment.
Vicky, Vicky Tingle, Vicky Tingle, Vicky. Woohoo! I'm so excited for this. Where's the side order? What do you want with the side tingle? Scutty pop, scutty pop, scutty pop. Brain tingles begin. Naughty Mickey. Naughty Mickey. Tony Pop, Tony Pop. Tonight, I'm going to be playing a series of pre-recorded stories that the wonderful Izzy Pop remastered for your enjoyment. Sounds effects and music. Harold Pop. Hey Dennis, welcome in this corner clubhouse. Welcome to the show. Go with the flow farm. Go with the flow farm. Go with the flow farm. Remember, for 1 month, Tingle Room, tingle. Oh, thank you, Go, Flo. Send membership out. Side order got that. Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. Body tingles. Hey, Nicole. Welcome to the show. Sit back, relax. Load off. Oh, Flo, send another membership. Look at you spinning that wheel. Cutie got that one. About dang time some people in chat got them. Thank you so much. Thank you. Everybody doing all right tonight? Hey, Cobra. We in here. That's right. Cobra told you. Awesome channel. Hey, Princess. You playing those ads? It's Princess. Thank you so much, Flow Tingles. Y'all like watching the nighttime nature and some things in the day, kitty cats and things like that. Go check out Flow. Go with the Flow Farm. A little variety of content over there. Six Bows is back. Six Bows is back. Stitching it up in the house. Angela Critters. Angela Critters. Kitty, 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 kitty. Angela Critters. It's Angela Critters. Susanna. Right. Got smacked in the mouth, so I wasn't going to mount the mic up, but I figured I could do it for a minute. Then I jump back on in it and let y'all listen to a little bit of Library of Alexandria tonight. Body Illusion playing that $5 slot. Look out. 6 bows, stitching it up. Let's see those emojis. Hey, cha. Emojis, everybody. Show Lucy those emojis over there at Body Illusion. She just about hit everybody in the chat. I'm not sure if Misty's here, but Misty's Pleasure is Life and Southern Home Cooking received a gift membership by Body Illusion. Thank you so much, Body Illusion. Hope you enjoy the show tonight. Let's see some emojis, everybody. Let's put some color in that chat. It's 15 wonderful emojis at your disposal. Badge by your name. They look something like this. Some pretty colors. And most of those were designed by Izzy Pop. Her link's out there. Let me drop it in there one more time. You need to up your game on your channel. As far as art, banners, thumbnails, intro videos, reach out to Izzy Pop. Miss J. It's member Miss J. Thank you so much, Body Illusion. 20 of y'all in chat. Share it out if you can. 6 bows is back. Vicky. Tingle. Body tingle. Let's see if I can do a little quick one for both Lucy and Go with the Flow Farm. That's right, Izzy coming in with the ska. Thank you so much. Also, if you like a video like that for your members on your channel, that's something that Izzy Pop can put together for you as well. Not a bad idea, adding some bells and whistles to your broadcast. Well, thank you, everybody. Now, first up, we're going to be presenting the Library of Alexandria. That was my clone AI Ska. Yeah, I forgot you did that at the end of that. It's pretty funny. Good evening, the Dega Outlaw. Welcome to the House of Thrillers. I'm your host, ScullyPop, where the entertainment doesn't stop. Oh, Miss J, you almost been with us half a year. Yeah, I like to think we're getting close back to 100 members. We've been starting the month pretty strong here, so it's pretty decent. I don't like to look all the time, and you know, analytics can tend to get you sidetracked. Hey, Native Wild Man, welcome. guess my Tylenol's working. I do have a little bit of some tooth pain, but once I start the readings, we'll go silent for, they typically last 10 to 20 minutes. You guys can relax and maybe get a little educated by some of the material and entertained by others, and check out all the cool visuals and music stuff that Izzy put together for us. Yeah, I love seeing that one. So many of y'all been a member for a long time. What else is going on? I definitely need to put a script together, don't I? You should be shooting for a theater production this Sunday. I gotta get my act together, get my ducks in a row, whatnot. Need to check everything, make sure we're good to go. Native, don't forget to hit the like. So yeah, well, let's jump on in there, and the Library of Alexandria going here. Hope everybody's having a fine evening. Thank you for all those wonderful donations. Really helps the channel. Welcome you to ScullyPop, where the entertainment doesn't stop. Tonight, we're going to be reading The Library of Alexandria, history's greatest tragedy. What if I told you that a single fire might have set human knowledge back by 1,000 years? Imagine where we'd be today if we hadn't lost countless ancient texts in one catastrophic event. The Library of Alexandria wasn't just a building filled with books. It was humanity's first real attempt to gather all knowledge in one place. And its destruction, perhaps the greatest intellectual tragedy in history. Hey there, knowledge seekers. Welcome back to the channel where we explore history's greatest mysteries and pivotal moments. If you're new here, I'm so glad you found us. This community is all about uncovering the stories that shaped our world. Today, we're diving into the legendary Library of Alexandria, a marvel of the ancient world that continues to capture our imagination thousands of years later. We'll explore how it began, what made it special, what it contained, and of course, the controversial story of how it was destroyed. By the end of this video, you'll understand why scholars still mourn this loss and what lessons we can learn from both its creation and destruction. Let's start with some context. Around 300 BC, in the bustling Mediterranean port city of Alexandria, Egypt, something remarkable was happening. The city itself was relatively new, founded by Alexander the Great just a few decades earlier. After Alexander's death, his general Ptolemy took over control of Egypt and established a dynasty that would rule for nearly 300 years. Ptolemy I and his son Ptolemy II had an ambitious vision to create a center of learning that would attract the greatest minds from across the known world. This wasn't just about collecting books. It was about creating a research institution unlike anything that had existed before. So, what made the Library of Alexandria so special? First, its scale was unprecedented. While exact numbers are debated, some ancient sources claim it held between 400,000 and 700,000 scrolls at its peak. In a world before printing presses, where each manuscript had to be copied by hand, this was an extraordinary achievement. But the library wasn't just a storage facility. It was part of a larger institution called the Museum, literally shrine of the muses, the goddesses of arts and sciences. Think of it as the world's first major research university. Scholars lived on site with living quarters, dining halls, reading rooms, gardens, and even an observatory and anatomical theater. The Ptolemies spared no expense in building their collection. Ships docking in Alexandria were searched for books, which were confiscated, copied, and sometimes returned as copies while the originals stayed in the library. Ptolemy III even borrowed the official state copies of the great tragedies from Athens, fortifying a massive deposit just to keep the original and return copies instead. Now, let's talk about what the library contained. Works of poetry, drama, philosophy, history, mathematics, astronomy, engineering, and medicine from across the Mediterranean world and beyond. Text in Greek, Egyptian, Hebrew, and other languages. The library contained original works by Aristotle, Sophocles, Euripides, Plato, and countless others, many of which no longer exist in any form. Some of the greatest thinkers of the ancient world worked there. Euclid developed his geometry. Eratosthenes calculated the circumference of the earth with astonishing accuracy. But here's where our story takes a dramatic turn. Despite its importance, the Library of Alexandria didn't survive. And surprisingly, historians still debate exactly when and how it was destroyed. Let's address the most common story first, that Julius Caesar accidentally burned it in 48 BC. While Caesar's forces did set fire to ships in the harbor that spread to some buildings, contemporary accounts don't specifically mention the library being destroyed completely at this time. Others point to later incidents, attacked by Emperor Aurelian in 273 AD and the decree of Coptic Pope Theophilus in 391 AD, ordering the destruction of pagan temples, which perhaps could have been the library. The truth is probably more complex, likely degraded over time through neglect rather than a single catastrophic fire. It's often dramatized. The most tragic part isn't how it ended, it's what we lost. Countless works of literature, science, and philosophy that exist nowhere else. Plays by the great Greek dramatists. Did you know we only have 7 of Sophocles' plays, though he wrote over 120? Historical accounts that could have filled huge gaps in our understanding of ancient civilizations. What might humans progress? What would it look like with this knowledge? It's also an important lesson here about preserving knowledge. The Library of Alexandria represented a single point of failure. One location where knowledge was concentrated. Today we learned that lesson. Modern digital libraries exist simultaneously in multiple locations, with backups upon backups. So, what can we take away from the story of the Library of Alexandria? First, the immense value of collecting and preserving knowledge. The Ptolemies understood something fundamental, that bringing together ideas from different cultures and disciplines creates an environment where innovation thrives. Second, the fragility of knowledge when it's not properly protected and distributed. What seems permanent can be lost surprisingly quickly. And finally, perhaps a sense of wonder of what remains undiscovered. If you found this journey into ancient history fascinating, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow. And if you're not already subscribed, now's the perfect time to join our community of history enthusiasts. Hit subscribe and that notification bell so you never miss our weekly explorations of history's greatest mysteries. For those who want to support the channel even more, consider becoming a channel member by clicking the join button below. Members get special badges and custom emojis that appear next to your name in comments and live chats. Love to know what you think. What ancient lost knowledge are you most curious about? What do you think would be different today if the Library of Alexandria had survived intact? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you have suggestions for future videos, I'm all ears. Until then, keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next video.
Well, hey there, friend, pull up a chair. It's your boy ScullyPop with stories to share. From the page to the stage, I've done it all. Books on the shelf and curtain calls. I whisper tales in the dead of night with a little ta-ta-ta just to feel right. And if you need some tingles down your spine, ska, 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 yeah, that sound is mine. So buckle up, it's quite the ride. We're going deep, no need to hide. Where the entertainment doesn't stop. You're tuned in now to ScullyPop. So close your eyes, then enjoy the glide. And we'll see you on the other side. I've read my novels by candlelight, with every chapter feeling just right. I'm the author that reads to you slow, with rhythm and rhyme in every flow. My fingers snap, the mic goes hot. Live from the heart, I give all I got. A little jazz, a touch of noir, mix in some ASMR and you're not far. Ska, 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 ta, 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 let the rhythm carry you. Ta, 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 ska, ska, ska. Feel the story, feel the vibe. Stories whispered, curtains raised, books turned to gold and voices praised. I'm just the guide on this wild old ride, and if you're still with me, I'll see you on the other side.
Constant ticking of Dr. John Watson's pocket watch seemed unusually loud in the empty laboratory. 3 months had passed since Sherlock Holmes' disappearance at Reichenbach Falls, and Watson had thrown himself into his medical practice to dull the pain of loss. Today, however, curiosity had led him somewhere entirely different. "Mr. Wells, I must say this is quite extraordinary," Watson remarked, circling the strange contraption before him. A brass and crystal apparatus with a plush velvet seat at its center. Herbert George Wells, a slender man with keen eyes, nodded eagerly. "It is indeed, Doctor, but I fear I've reached an impasse. The theoretical work is sound, but the practical application..." He trailed off, running a hand through his disheveled hair. "And you believe my medical expertise might assist you?" Watson asked, skeptical but intrigued. "Precisely, the physiological effects of temporal displacement remain my primary concern. Who better to consult than a battlefield surgeon with scientific acumen?" Watson couldn't help but feel flattered. Since Holmes's absence, few had sought his opinion on matters beyond common colds and twisted ankles. "I've documented everything in this journal," Wells continued, handing Watson a leather-bound book. "Perhaps you might review it tonight. Tomorrow we could discuss modifications to ensure a traveler's safe return." Watson accepted the journal with a nod, little realizing how this simple gesture would change everything. Later that night, Watson pored over Wells's notes by lamplight. The theories were revolutionary, utterly fantastical, yet described with such precision that Watson found himself believing. What medical advances might exist in the future? What diseases might be conquered? How many lives could be saved as such knowledge were brought back to the present? The thought consumed him through a sleepless night. Dawn found Watson back at Wells's laboratory, but the writer was nowhere to be found. The note on the workbench simply read, "Called away unexpectedly. Back tomorrow afternoon." The time machine stood silent, beckoning. "This is madness." Yet Watson couldn't resist running his fingers along the machine's controls, perfectly described in Wells's journal. Absolute madness. What harm could come from a small test? Watson reasoned. A journey of minutes, perhaps hours, just enough to prove the concept before Wells returned. His medical bag clutched tightly in one hand, Watson settled into the velvet seat and set the crystalline dials to 100 years hence. "For science," he whispered and pulled the brass lever. The world dissolved into a kaleidoscope of light and sensation. Watson's stomach lurched as though he were falling from a great height, yet rising simultaneously. Time itself seemed to stretch and compress around him, decades flowing past like water. When the spinning finally stopped, Watson found himself in the machine in the corner of a sterile white room filled with devices he couldn't begin to comprehend. The young woman in form-fitting blue garments stared at him, her mouth agape. Holy nanotech! It actually worked. I beg your pardon? Watson managed, struggling to his feet. The Temporal Restoration Project. We've been attempting to reconstruct Wells's time machine for decades, but nobody believed. She circled him, eyes wide. And you're actually from when exactly? 1894, Watson replied, straightening his waistcoat with as much dignity as he could muster. London, and you are? Dr. Eliza Chambers, Temporal Physics Division, London Central Medical Archives. Watson's heart leapt. Medical archives? How fortuitous. I'm a physician myself, Dr. John Watson. Recognition flashed across her face. Watson, as in, never mind. What brings you forward, Doctor? Medical knowledge? Imagine how many lives could be saved by bringing future advancements back to my time. Eliza's expression darkened. I don't think that's wise, Doctor. Temporal contamination protocols are quite strict. Surely exceptions can be made when lives are at stake. Before Eliza could respond, an alarm blared. Red lights pulsed along the ceiling. They've detected the temporal anomaly. You need to return immediately. But I've only just arrived. Please, just a brief tour of your medical facilities. Eliza hesitated, then nodded quickly. Okay, 5 minutes, then you must go. She grabbed his arm and pulled him through sliding doors that opened at their approach. The medical archives were unlike anything Watson could have imagined. Glowing screens displayed rotating images of human anatomy in impossible detail. Devices hummed and pulsed with strange energies. This is extraordinary. Watson opened his medical bag to take notes. We've conquered most diseases you would know, but we face new challenges. Synthetic viruses, nanoplagues, environmental cancers from the Great Collapse. The Great Collapse? Oh, it's nothing. Here, she pressed something into his hand. A diagnostic tablet, our most basic medical tool. A thin rectangle of glass glowed at his touch, displaying information in unfamiliar symbols. I can't read this. It's standard medical glyphs here. Eliza tapped the glass, and suddenly Watson could understand. The disease profiles, treatment protocols, medical breakthroughs spanning centuries scrolled before his eyes. The alarm suddenly changed pitch. Temporal police, they're coming. You must go now. But there's so much to learn, Watson protested as she dragged him back toward the time machine. History records how you disappeared in 1894. If you don't return now, you never will. Uniformed figures appeared at the far end of the corridor, weapons drawn. Wait, Watson pleaded as Eliza practically shoved him into the machine's seat. What happens to Holmes? Does he return? I can't tell you. Eliza's expression pained as she reset the dials. But know this, work you do upon your return will save millions. The Watson protocol becomes the foundation of modern medicine. Watson protocol? Trust your instincts, doctor. The future is counting on you. She pressed a tablet into his medical bag as the officers approached. She pulled the lever and time unraveled once more. Watson returned to Wells's laboratory mere moments after he had left, though to him it felt like hours had passed. His head spun with knowledge and questions. The diagnostic tablet now appeared inert, a simple rectangle of dark glass. When Wells returned the following day, Watson claimed illness had prevented him from reading the journal. Some instinct warned him to keep his experience secret. The writer seemed disappointed but unsurprised. Theoretical time travel less interesting without a willing audience. That night, alone in his study, Watson discovered that though the tablet wouldn't activate, he could recall with perfect clarity everything he had seen during those brief, miraculous minutes. He began to write, documenting future techniques adapted for contemporary application. Antiseptic procedures, advanced surgical methods, early theories of antibiotics. The Watson protocol took shape. As he worked through the night, Watson occasionally glanced at his inactive souvenir from the future, wondering what Eliza had meant about Holmes and what terrors lurked behind the mention of the Great Collapse. Whatever dark future awaited, he was determined that his medical legacy would help humanity face it. In his pocket, his watch ticked steadily onward, marking time's inexorable advance. The end. Hello. Come in there and say hello to everybody real quick before we get on to the next story. Don't let me miss anybody. Good to see you, Rock Solid Passion. This is ScullyPop Live. Native Wild Man, welcome. Daisy May. New York gal. Hey, Marlene. Good to see you. All Things Pink and Possible. Former cast member, All Things Pink and Possible. Khadija. Tingle. You go with the flow form. Yep, next is Don Quixote meets H.G. Wells. Hey, Arlie, blessings to you. Cheers, Pats fans. Good to see you. Glad everybody can make it tonight. My heart goes out to everybody who's helping their loved ones, and I know there's a few of you out there right now. It's really tough sometimes. Good to see you, TWP, man. I forgot. Appreciate you, Broska. One of our long-standing moderators, TWP Popcorn. Yeah, it's Crystal Sparkle. Yay, story time. You ready? Don Quixote. We'll battle it out with the Martians, but he thinks they're, what is it I called them? Tingle. Scuss. Crystal's ready. Izzy Pop ready for takeoff. Oh man, what's in my seat? That good. Yeah. Wow. I think this one might be a little bit longer. Can't remember, but we'll see. So I guess y'all are ready to roll. La Mancha and the Metal Giants. The morning sun cast long shadows across the plains of La Mancha as Don Quixote de la Mancha sat atop his faithful steed, Rocinante. His weathered face turned skyward, squinting at what appeared to be falling stars streaking across the dawn sky. Beside him, his loyal squire Sancho Panza rubbed sleep from his eyes, his round body still not fully awake. Do you see them, Sancho? Quixote's voice trembled with excitement. The signs from heaven, great cylinders of fire descending upon our lands. Sancho yawned, scratching his belly beneath his tattered shirt. They're just shooting stars, master. Nothing to concern ourselves with. Don Quixote was already lost in the elaborate constructions of his mind. His gaunt frame straightening his rusted armor, the plume on his makeshift helmet quivering with anticipation. Nay, my faithful friend, these are the signs foretold in the ancient books of chivalry. The enchanter Freston, my sworn enemy, summons his metal giants to terrorize the countryside and test the mettle of true knights. The Cylinders, genuine Martian spacecraft, had indeed fallen during the night, embedding themselves in the field several leagues away. Smoke rose in thin columns from their landing sites, visible even from the hilltop where Knight and Squire had made camp. "We must make haste," declared Don Quixote, adjusting his lance beneath his arm. "Fair damsels and honest peasants alike will require our protection from these foul constructs." Sancho, ever practical despite years in the knight's service, tried reason. "Master, should we not return to the village? If danger threatens, we would be wise to gather men with proper weapons." "Proper weapons?" Quixote scoffed, brandishing his ancient lance. "What could be more proper than the implements of chivalry against the dark arts? Have you learned nothing in our journeys, my skeptical friend?" Sancho sighed, mounting his donkey with the resignation of a man who had long ago accepted his role in this perpetual theater of the absurd. "As you wish, master, but let us at least break our fast before charging into battle." They ate a simple meal of dried bread and cheese, Don Quixote barely touching his food, his rheumy eyes fixed on the distant smoke. In his mind, he was already composing verses that would immortalize his triumph over these enchanted adversaries. Part 1. By midday, they approached the first cylinder. A crowd of peasants had gathered at a safe distance, murmuring among themselves as the strange object hissed and steamed. The top portion was beginning to unscrew from within. "Stand back, good people," Don Quixote announced, his voice carrying across the frightened assembly. "I, Don Quixote de la Mancha, Knight of the Sorrowful Countenance, shall protect you from this infernal device." The peasants turned, their expression shifting from fear to a different kind of concern as they recognized the infamous madman and his companion. Some snickered behind their hands, while others merely shook their heads. "Not now, old fool," one man called out. "There's real danger here." Don Quixote was already urging Rocinante forward, his lance leveled at the cylinder, as the top finally fell away with a clang, revealing the glistening, pulsating form of the Martians within. A collective gasp arose from the crowd. Don Quixote, however, saw only what his mind allowed him to see. The enchanter Preston's mechanical servants, ready to do their master's bidding. The tentacled Martians emerging from the craft registered in his fractured perception as knights in peculiar, shimmering armor. "Ha! Come forth, servants of darkness," he challenged, as Rocinante nervously pawed the ground. Sancho pulled his donkey to a halt well behind his master. "Don Quixote, those are not men or giants. They are... I know not what they are. They are unlike anything in God's creation." The Martians, still adjusting to Earth's gravity and atmosphere, took notice of the strange figure charging toward them. They raised what appeared to be metallic wands, the heat ray weapons that would soon lay waste to humanity's armies. "Your enchanted wands do not frighten me," Don Quixote declared, spurring Rocinante into a reluctant trot. Have at thee! Part 2. The first heat ray missed Don Quixote entirely, striking the ground beside Rocinante and causing the poor horse to rear in panic. This inadvertent evasion was interpreted by the knight as divine intervention. You see, Sancho? The grace of my lady Dulcinea protects me. Peasants had scattered, running for their lives as more Martians emerged. Sancho had retreated to the dubious shelter of a nearby olive grove, watching in horror. Master, please! These are no enchanter's tricks! Don Quixote charged again, somehow evading the poorly aimed rays of the disoriented Martians. His lance struck the metal skin of the cylinder with a resounding clang before splintering, the impact nearly unseating him. Their armor is enchanted indeed. He drew his rusted sword. But no matter. Dulcinea gives me strength. The Martians, still not fully comprehending this solitary human's attack, turned their attention to the fleeting crowds. More substantial threats in the construction of their tripod fighting machines. This dismissal was, to Don Quixote, further evidence of their fear. They retreat to summon reinforcements, he declared triumphantly, as Rocinante trotted in confused circles before the scene. The first battle goes to us, Sancho. Sancho, astonished at his master's continued existence, could only shake his head and wonder. Perhaps madness was its own kind of protection. Part 3. Over the next days, as the Martians assembled their tripod machines and began their systematic destruction of the countryside, Don Quixote pursued them with unwavering determination. Each tripod was, to his mind, a massive armored knight upon stilts, sent by his nemesis to terrorize his beloved Spain. The heat rays became enchanted fire breath, the poison black smoke merely sorcerous fog, and the mechanical tentacles grabbing, screaming victims were the arms of giants reaching for innocent maidens. Most remarkably, Don Quixote survived. Perhaps it was his erratic movement, Rocinante's terror-induced bolting at crucial moments, or simply that the Martians considered the lone, armored human on horseback too insignificant to waste energy upon. Special and larger groups of humans presented more substantial threats. Sancho followed at a safe distance, alternately praying for his master's safety and cursing his own loyalty. Why had he not abandoned this lunacy years ago? Yet, something kept him watching, reporting, bearing witness to what might be either the most absurd or the most noble quest in an age of horrors. Master, he called one evening as they made camp at sight of a destroyed village. 3 tripods visible on the horizon. Perhaps we should journey elsewhere, seek reinforcements from other knights. Don Quixote sat polishing his dented helmet, his thin face illuminated by their small fire. Abandon these good people to the metal giants? Never, Sancho. What kind of knight would I be? A living one, Sancho muttered. But there was no real conviction in his complaint. Somehow, against all reason, his master's delusions had become a strange comfort in a world suddenly filled with horrors beyond imagination. On the 7th day of the invasion, Don Quixote made his grandest charge yet. 3 tripods had converged on a small town, their heat rays systematically demolishing buildings as terrified villagers fled in all directions. For Dulcinea in Spain! The knight roared, galloping Rocinante directly toward the nearest mechanical monstrosity. What happened next would be debated by the few witnesses who survived to tell the tale. The tripod's operator, perhaps distracted by the unexpected sight of a man in medieval armor charging on horseback, hesitated in his attack pattern. Its leg descended at the precise moment that Don Quixote's sword struck upward, connecting with something vital, a joint, a hydraulic mechanism, or perhaps even Martian inside. The tripod faltered, its balance compromised. As Don Quixote circled for another pass, the massive structure began to tilt, then topple, crashing to the ground with an earth-shaking impact. "Victory!" cried the knight of the sorrowful countenance, raising his sword high. "See how the giants fall before true chivalry!" The other tripods turned their attention to this unexpected threat, heat rays scorching the earth where Don Quixote had stood moments before. But Rocinante, terrified beyond reason, had already bolted between buildings, carrying his master to temporary safety. Sancho, watching from a distant hill, crossed himself in amazement. "Santa Maria! The old fool actually did it!" And for all their technological superiority, had no context for understanding Don Quixote. Their analytical minds, so adept at calculating threats from organized military resistance, failed to account for the random movements of a madman who didn't behave according to rational patterns or fear and self-preservation. As the days passed, Don Quixote became something of a folk hero among the survivors hiding in the countryside. Some said he was a saint. Sancho, for his part, began to wonder if his master's madness had been a kind of prophecy. Preparation for a world where giants truly did stalk the land. Where chivalry and courage might be humanity's last defense against the incomprehensible. The end came not from Don Quixote's lance or sword, but from the same microscopic allies that saved all of humanity. Bacteria and viruses to which the Martians had no immunity. As tripods began to falter across the region, their operators succumbing to terrestrial diseases, Don Quixote claimed each as a personal victory. "See how they fall to my lady's enchantments. Dulcinea's love flows through my veins, strengthening my arm against these foes." When the last tripod in La Mancha stood motionless, its heat rays silent, Don Quixote approached it cautiously on foot. "Yield, metal giant." His voice carried the eerie silence that had fallen across the devastated landscape. "Acknowledge the supremacy of chivalry and love over cold mechanics and destruction." As if in answer, tripod's hatch opened and the lifeless form of a Martian slid partially out, tentacles hanging limply. Don Quixote removed his dented helmet and bowed his head. Even enemies deserve respect and death. They fought with honor, if not with righteousness. Sancho, approaching to stand beside his master, saw the moment differently. They were monsters, master, not knights or giants or enchanters, just creatures from beyond our world. Don Quixote turned to his faithful squire, and for a brief moment, perfect lucidity shone in his eyes. And what is a monster, dear Sancho? It's something we lack the imagination to understand. Perhaps they too had their Dulcineas, their codes of honor, their quests. The moment passed, and the familiar veil of madness descended once more. Come, we must inform the good people that the enchantment has been lifted. There will be feasting and celebration. Perhaps a tournament in my honor. As they walked away from the fallen tripod, Sancho found himself smiling despite everything. The world changed forever, revealed to be both smaller and vastly larger than humanity had ever imagined. New stories would be told, new books of adventure written, and perhaps, he thought, watching his master stride purposefully ahead, those stories would need a little madness to make sense of them. The kind of madness that sees giants where others see windmills, that charges into battle with wisdom counselors retreat, that finds meaning in chaos and beauty in destruction. The kind of madness that, in the darkest times, might just be mistaken for the purest sanity. The end. I'd like to welcome you to the House of Thrillers. I'm Scully, the author that reads to you. I read my novels and other works in the public domain and submissions from people like you. So buckle up. It's quite the ride, and we'll see you on the other side. That's right. Welcome back to ScullyPop, fellow story enthusiasts. Today we're diving into the gritty, atmospheric world of 1950s Hollywood with an excerpt from Beyond the Pale by Patrick B. Murphy, the latest thrilling installment in his acclaimed Brian Duffy mystery series. Mr. Murphy's created something truly special with his Brian Duffy mysteries, set in the sun-soaked yet shadowy world of 1950s Los Angeles. What makes the series particularly compelling is Murphy's attention to historical detail and his unique protagonist, Brian Duffy, private detective who survived polio and an iron lung, now navigating Hollywood's criminal underworld with the aid of crutches and braces. The series captures the essence of post-war America, where veterans are trying to find their place in a rapidly changing world, and Los Angeles is booming with opportunity and danger and danger. Murphy's background appears to blend medical and data management expertise with a passion for noir storytelling, creating authentic characters dealing with both physical challenges and moral complexity. In this particular adventure, set in Hollywood, Brian Duffy accepts a case from his most dangerous client ever, the Rabbit, LA mob boss Mickey Cohen's lethal lieutenant. The stakes couldn't be higher, as Brian knows that doing a favor for the Rabbit can only end in two ways: with the Rabbit's eternal gratitude or Brian's eternal rest. Where to find the book, you can discover more about Patrick B. Murphy's work and purchase Beyond the Pale at Amazon on the link in the description. The Brian Duffy mystery series includes High Voltage, Springtime, Summer Heat, and now Beyond the Pale. Each one building on the rich tapestry of 1950s Los Angeles crime and the compelling character of Brian Duffy. So settle in, dear listeners, as we step into the neon-lit streets of Hollywood, where danger lurks behind every studio lot, and every favor comes with a deadly price. It's Chapter 5. Hollywood. Friday, March 15th, 1957. I decided to stake out the first 3 addresses on the list from Captain Collins. I thought I would have plenty of time to stake each out for 2 hours. But they were pretty far apart, so I lost some time. After finding out nothing more than that squirrels were back in business after winter, I headed back to the office at 5. Addison let me know no one had called and that he had fed Rufus. I thanked him and said he could go home, or wherever saxophone players hung out. I was looking for such a way for Jane and me to have a nice Friday date. The Venice canals came to mind because we had always enjoyed our walks there, and they were near her office. Around 6 o'clock, I picked up Jane at the electronics laboratory at Hughes Airport, just south of Venice. I hadn't seen Jameson since fall, when Theodore Thompson appointed him the head of Hughes Aircraft's new division, Hughes Electronics. I wondered if he was avoiding me for some reason. After almost 2 years of Jameson being the most powerful force in my life, I had a hard time adjusting to the fact that he was no longer around. I thought I would go inside and see Jameson too, but Jane said she wanted to meet me outside the lab. When she got in the car, Jane leaned over to give me a quick kiss and then tucked her left leg under her as she sat. We were silent on the short drive to the canals because we knew we were going to talk on our walk. She was in charge of the music, leaning over to change the station often as one song ended and another one began, looking for her favorite song to appear. We drove north along the coast with the windows down. I held my breath as we passed the Bologna swamps, the rabbit stomping grounds. I swear my right foot started to itch. I could feel the ocean in the air, but it was out of sight. Traffic was light and I quickly parked on Pacific Street. It was a flat walk from there to the canals. The bank of the first canal was falling in disrepair. Water-loving bushes and plants and grasses had taken over the bank, spreading into the canal. The plants were thriving and unstoppable. A spectrum of every shade of green ran through the swath of vegetation. It was a 5-minute walk past run-down houses to our favorite spot on the Grand Canal. It had a 5-foot railing that was the strongest in our usual walking area. I stood 2 inches away from the railing, then leaned back against it. My braces held me straight and my weight was off my body. I could stay like this for an hour. How's work going, Jane? I knew she had been under pressure and things weren't always going the way she wanted. She was wearing a yellow top and a light blue knee-length dress. She had done something a little different with her hair. It was starting to curl. Her green eyes sparkled as always in the sun. I loved her and I loved hearing her voice. She leaned next to me on the railing and slowly shook her head, looking down into the water.
It's so frustrating. I'm working on a special project Jameson gave me, but I can't get it right. It's a big chance for me because it's Jameson's idea, and he trusted me with the responsibility for implementing it. He designed it all, but I've been managing the logistics, conducting the experiments, even filling out the official lab notebooks for submission at the end. I don't want to let him down.
She looked into my eyes.
Plus, I'm the only woman in the electronics division, and I want to show everyone that Jameson made a good decision by hiring me.
I understood and held her glance. I know you're doing great. Jameson doesn't have simple ideas, so I'm sure everything's more difficult than it first seems. I think she heard me, but I wasn't sure. She kept explaining.
For most of our projects, we work on equipment that will be immediately used by Hughes Aircraft, but this one is different. Jameson told me that he worked on a secret project after the war. His job was to design an antenna that would pick up both high energy and low energy signals. Jameson didn't get to finish the antenna back then because funding for the projects ended suddenly. He wants to try again now.
She paused, and I knew to keep silent. She tilted her head and after a moment said,
He thinks that if we can add a transistor-based signal processor, we can overcome the problems he had with the antenna signal before.
Jane stopped and her face showed another problem for her.
I'm not sure. But I think that nasty man, George Barber, worked on the secret project with him.
I was impressed with her interrogation skills. Jameson had never told me anything about his work after the war. George Barber had been involved in a couple of my cases, and Jane never liked him. I had a soft spot for him because he convinced Chief Parker to give me a PI license. I remember you told me the antenna you made is working. That's great progress. She nodded her head yes, and looked down into the water again.
It was progress, but that was 6 weeks ago. Now I'm stuck on the signal processor. This is my first chance to work with transistors, and I don't want to fail.
She looked up at me proudly. I hope that I seemed like I understood her, she confided.
Those transistors are hard to get. I think that's a big reason why Jameson took the job as head of Hughes Electronics.
That plus Jameson was finally out from under George Barber's thumb. It was Barber who got Chief Parker to look the other way when Jameson shot the fin. When I helped out Barber last year, part of my price was releasing Jameson from his obligation. I've never even heard of transistors, I pointed out. You're really on the forefront. Jane got an excited look.
The 3 investors of the transistor just won the Nobel Prize in Physics last year.
She looked proud.
I'll bet Jameson wins the Nobel Prize in Physics someday.
I didn't know if I could tolerate being around Jameson if that ever happened. He was cocky enough as it was. She tilted her neck and I think I heard it crack. She picked up her story again.
You're right. The antenna was working fine. Then I spent the next 6 weeks connecting the antenna output to the signal processor.
Her face showed hope.
Jameson let me write up all the schematics and calculations. And I built it. I've learned so much. I was sure it was going to work.
Her hope faded. Again, I said just the right thing. It'll work soon. She shook her head vigorously back and forth.
No, it won't. There's a background noise coming from the antenna that I can't eliminate, no matter what I do. How I shield the wires, I can't get rid of that noise, and it's ruining the project.
She was talking a lot with her hands. I kept quiet. She closed her eyes and took a deep breath.
If I'm not able to get a clear signal to go from the antenna to the processor, I'm afraid Jameson will have to replace me.
After a few seconds, she opened her eyes and admitted,
On Monday, I asked for more support, and Jameson gave me 2 engineers, Dave and Chuck, and an administrative assistant, Vera, from Hughes's Aircraft. They're looking for the noise too. They've been great and don't mind me being in the charge of the project.
you were smart to ask for more help. If there was one thing I knew, it was that Jameson was loyal, and he would never replace Jane on the project. I didn't really know why Jameson had helped me become a detective. He invested his time, money, and sometimes risked his life for me. But he had stuck by me, and I know he would stick by Jane. He and Jane had developed a special bond ever since he cut her in half as part of his magic act last year. I didn't think it would be helpful for me to mention that. We looked at the swans floating down the canal. Last time we were here, she explained how each swan sent a wave through the water. She tried to teach me how the water ripples affected each other. She was probably thinking of how to explain it again, hoping I would understand this time. And after a minute of silence, I expected Jane to ask me how things were going on my cases. I was all set to talk about the rabbit son and how I was just getting started. For the 1,000th time since I met her, she surprised me. Jane stood up straight and looked me in the eyes and asked,
Do you ever wonder what your life would be like if you hadn't gotten polio?
Of course I had, but no one had ever asked me that before. People were usually too uncomfortable to bring up the polio topic. It was the worst thing that had ever happened to me. Jane was asking because she was interested in me, not my polio. Just another reason why she was so special. I got my crutches behind me and I pushed on forward until I was standing straight. Slipped my arm out of the crutch cuff for a second, reached up and scratched my chin, then slipped my arm back in. Before I got polio, I was a jock. I was on the football team, the basketball team. I ran track my junior year. I never hit the books, no thought for the future. I guess I figured I would be a professional athlete. She didn't say anything or laugh, so I continued. Not many people have gotten to think almost uninterrupted, like I did when I was in the iron lung for 6 months. I learned how to control my thoughts so I wouldn't panic about how bad my situation was. I didn't even get to feel sorry for myself because too many other people in the polio ward just gave up and died. That mental toughness has turned out to be a positive for me. A pair of swans came down the canal toward us and then veered off sharply. I hadn't thought this much about my polio since I'd left Milwaukee 2 years ago. Yes, I walk slower now with braces and crutches, but I was never going to make a living with my legs anyway. That was a teenager's dream. I shrugged. If I hadn't gotten polio, I guess I'd be living around Milwaukee with no real education, going from one nowhere job to another. pointed to my head with my right hand, slipping my arm out of the crutch again. Now I've got focus. Every day I plan my movements so I can do things efficiently. I can't afford to walk to my car, get in, then realize that I forgot my wallet. I have to get up and walk back into my apartment. And my job, my approach can't be, well, if I get into a jam, I'll just duck, hide, and run away. I have to plan in advance. I shook my head. Would I be better off if I hadn't gotten polio? Sounds odd, but I honestly don't know. I'm a better person now than I would have been otherwise. I make friends with the humility of knowing that I may need them to help me someday. Maybe to open the door. Maybe to pick me up off the floor if I slip and fall. That means I'd have to be a good friend of them too. She leaned into my chest. Fell the 2 inches I fell. I did 2 inches backward against the bridge rail, and again it held. I hugged her with my left arm. She wrapped both her arms around me. I used my right arm on the railing to stabilize us. I spoke into her hair. Most importantly, if I hadn't gotten polio, I would have never moved to LA. I would have never met you. I would have never fallen in love with you. And that would have been the worst thing that ever happened to me. And there we have it, dear listeners. Another captivating glimpse into the shadowy world of Brian Duffy in the 1950s Hollywood noir. I hope you enjoyed that thrilling excerpt from Patrick B. Murphy's Beyond the Pale as much as I love bringing it to life for you. If you're as hooked on Brian Duffy's adventures as I am, please consider purchasing Beyond the Pale, link in the description, and the entire Brian Duffy mystery series. You can find all of Patrick B. Murphy's books on Amazon. The link is in our description below. Supporting independent authors like Patrick keeps amazing stories like these coming, and trust me, you'll want to know how this dangerous case with the rabbit unfolds.
Well, hey there, friend, pull up a chair. It's your boy ScullyPop with stories to share. From the page to the stage, I've done it all. Books on the shelf and curtain calls. I whisper tales in the dead of night with a little ta-ta-ta just to feel right. And if you need some tingles down your spine, ska, 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 yeah, that sound is mine. And buckle up, it's quite the ride. We're going deep, no need to hide. Where the entertainment doesn't stop. You're tuned in now to ScullyPop. So close your eyes and enjoy the glide, and we'll see you on the other side. I've read my novels by candlelight, with every chapter feeling just right. I'm the author that reads to you slow, with rhythm and rhyme in every flow. My fingers snap, the mic goes hot. Live from the heart, I give all I got. A little jazz, a touch of noir, mix in some ASMR and you're not far. Ska, 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 ta, 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 let the rhythm carry you. Ta, 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 ska, 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 feel the story, feel the vibe. and we'll see you on the other side. Yeah. Stories whispered, curtains raised, books turned to gold and voices praised. I'm just the guide on this wild old ride, and if you're still with me, I'll see you on the other side.